Okay, so let's talk about two things you probably don't lump together very often: music and biology. They seem like they're from totally different universes, right? But what if I told you there's this hidden symphony connecting them? A deep link between sound, life, and even our own brains. We're going to dive into that incredible connection right now.
I mean, it's a bit of a weird question, isn't it? One's art, the other's science. But what if all of it, the melodies, the rhythms, the feelings you get from a song, what if all of that is actually just echoing the deep biological processes that make us who we are? That's the big idea we're going to unpack today.
So, check this out. On one side, you've got the language of music, melody, harmony, rhythm. And on the other, the language of life, heartbeats, evolution, brainwaves. They look like totally separate lists. But hold on a second. Think about how a style of music like jazz evolved, how it changed and branched out over the decades. It's really not all that different from how a species evolves, is it? The connections are absolutely everywhere once you start paying attention.
All right, so let's jump into the most basic, most fundamental connection there is: rhythm. This is where the music happening inside our own bodies and the music we listen to. Well, it's where they find their shared, undeniable heartbeat.
Every single living thing runs on these biological rhythms. We're talking about the steady beat of your heart, the cycle of sleeping and waking up. This stuff isn't random. Nope, these are the essential, repeating patterns that literally keep us alive.
And this is such a perfect example of that link. The speed of a song, the tempo, it's almost a perfect mirror for the rhythm of our own heart. Think about it. A slow, peaceful song can actually physically lower your heart rate. And a fast, upbeat track, your pulse speeds up, you feel that energy. It's an incredible, one-to-one parallel you can feel in your own chest.
But okay, this connection goes even deeper. Let's zoom out to the massive scale of evolution. We know biology is all about adapting and changing over millions of years, right? Well, music does the exact same thing. It's not set in stone, it evolves, it adapts to new cultures, it splits off into totally new genres. You see, both of them are basically these living, breathing systems that are always responding to the world around them.
All right, now let's zoom way in, down to the microscopic level, because this is where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. Our bodies, they're made of trillions of cells, and they're all working together in this perfect concert. So imagine the little signals flying between them. Those are like the individual musical notes. The pathways they create together, those are the harmonies. And the whole thing, the entire living you, that's the full orchestra, a perfectly conducted symphony.
So if our cells are the orchestra, then who's the conductor? Well, that brings us right to the brain. And this is where that biological echo we've been talking about turns into a full-on neurological duet.
Okay, so we've seen how music kind of mirrors the rhythms of life. But here's the kicker. This isn't just a cool metaphor. We know from neuroscience that music literally, physically interacts with and even changes the shape of our brains. So how on earth does it do that?
Well, the moment you press play on a song, your brain just lights up like a Christmas tree. Seriously. It fires up all these complex neural pathways. It triggers a flood of chemicals like dopamine, the feel-good one. And that whole process creates these incredibly powerful memories. It's exactly why hearing a specific song can instantly zap you back to a moment in time. Our brain's wiring is literally dancing along to the music. And get this, it's not a one-way street at all. It's this amazing feedback loop. If you actively learn to play an instrument, for example, it can physically change the structure of your brain. And then, that newly wired brain gets even better at processing music, which in turn can boost other skills, like your memory or how you solve problems.
So the big takeaway here is that music and the brain aren't two separate things with one just acting on the other. No, they're completely intertwined. They are constantly shaping and reshaping each other in this really powerful partnership. Okay, so let's zoom out again to a much bigger picture, something almost philosophical. If music is tied so closely to our biology, to our brains, maybe, just maybe, it's because it's tapping into a universal language, one that's shared by all of nature. So think about emotion from a pure biology perspective. When you feel something, joy, fear, whatever, it's really just a complex chemical cocktail flooding your body. It's this cascade of hormones and neurotransmitters that creates a real physical feeling. And now think about music. How does it make you feel things? Through a cascade of melody and harmony, a song in a major key feels happy and bright. Switch to a minor key and suddenly it's sad, it's melancholic. See the pattern? Both our bodies and our music use these complex, flowing patterns to create powerful emotional experiences. It's like they're speaking the same exact language of feeling.
And this idea of a shared language, it goes beyond just us. It covers the entire world around us. I mean, just think about the sounds of an environment. Every ecosystem, whether it's a huge, quiet desert or a bustling coral reef, has its own unique sonic fingerprint, its own natural music.
And what's so cool is that we actually copy these natural patterns in the music we make. The dense, layered sound of a rainforest, all the birds and insects, it sounds a lot like the textures in some ambient electronic music, doesn't it? Or what about the powerful rhythmic crash of ocean waves? That's basically the same feeling as the huge swelling crescendo in a symphony. It's like musicians, maybe without even realizing it, are just channeling the sounds of nature.
So where does all this leave us? What does it all mean? When you pull all of these different threads together, what you get is this beautiful, complex symphony of connections that goes way beyond just art or science.
We've seen it in the basic beat of life itself, in the way things evolve and adapt, in the incredible harmony happening inside our own cells, and even in the melodies dancing around inside our own minds. It's this amazing tapestry that proves just how deeply connected these two worlds really are.
And really, that's the bottom line. Music isn't just some art form that's separate from us or from the natural world. It is so much more than entertainment. It's a real, audible reflection of the patterns, the rhythms, and the incredible beauty of life itself, from the tiniest cell all the way up to the entire planet. So, I'll leave you with one last thing to think about. If the music we create is so woven into the very fabric of our biology, if it really is a language of nature, then what is it trying to tell us?